Hello everyone and welcome back to another iRacing video, and today you're in for an absolute cracker, as here we are at Okayama in the Mx5s for our first ever community race. So this community race is held by LDFR Sim Racing and Labroca Sim Racing. If you haven't heard of them before, make sure you go to their channels and even join their Discord, as that is how you join their community races, as I have done. But this race was, or there were actually even two races, but this video is specifically for the first race. But it was an absolute ball of fun. I got to race against the YouTubers, we got to race against some other incredible drivers, and maybe some that were a bit on the slower side. But in all, crazy battles, crazy fun. I hope you enjoy. So make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, as it's free and it really helps me make these videos and keep motivated to make these videos. But now, without further ado, let's head straight over and have a look at the qualifying results. So as you can see here, we have qualified 11th out of 18, even though it only shows the top 12, it is out of 18, which isn't the greatest. I think I had way more pace, but I didn't do much practice. But in highlighted there, yellow, we have Lorenzo, who is LDFR Sim Racing, has qualified 7th, and Ben Harrison, Labroca Sim Racing, has qualified 12th. With incredible drivers in front and behind, let's see how we can do in the first community race ever. So here we are on the end of the formation lap, getting onto the straight. Lights are about to go green, and we're waiting, and there they are, the lights are green and we're off. We're underway at the Okayama for our first ever community race. We have a great run on the white car there, which is Sim Racer 65. If you haven't seen his videos, make sure you go check him out. And then number 17, GoPro Mazda, that is Labroca, making his moves nice and early. And there is one car off already, and I think that is the pole sitter, or was, should I say, it was the pole sitter. But he is no longer, as he is into the wall, but we are making moves down the inside of Neil, Sim Racer 65, maybe a little bit of contact there. But he's going to send it back down the inside, as we have to brake earlier because of the cars in front. We get pushed a bit wide, very close to Liam there, but we're all good, and we have survived those first couple of corners, which are generally the most chaotic, and we're onto the back straight. This is where hopefully it'll calm down from here on. We're on the straight now. You can see up ahead lots of cars making moves, going 3 wide into the hairpin. Never a good idea. But we just go on our own, maybe looking to pick up the scraps here if there's an accident, or if they're slow, just get some overtakes done so we can move up the field from P11. I think we might be 10th or 9th now at the moment though. Here we are, we've got the run on Neil, but we've even got a car behind us. We're looking to go down the inside, and we're going to brake not as late as I would have liked, but there's 2 cars already off, and I think that is Ben Harrison, Labroca Sim Racing, and another car. But we are still fighting as Neil goes down the inside. We have to give him room, which then allows Liam to come through as well. In all, not too bad start then. We were a bit shaky as we get a bit wide and we nearly lose it. So close to losing it there, but you can see we managed to keep it on. And now heading down the main straight onto lap 2. And we'll see where we are positioned at the moment as we cross the line. We are in what seems to be P11, I think. Yep, P11. But look there, oh, Neil and Liam colliding and going off into the gravel at turn 1. That is not what you want to see, but for us it is 2 free positions, so we will take it. As now we set our eyes upon the pack of cars up ahead, and we're going to try gain and hopefully make some moves on them. So now let's take a look at the replays from that very first lap. And here is what happened to the pole sitter as he comes through turn 1. It looks like he gets a little bit wide, 1 or 2 wheels in the gravel there, and that just spins him around. And then here's what happened to Neil and Liam then. They look like they've got through cleanly, and then I think we're going to have to put that on Neil there. But now we head back to lap 4, and as you can see we have gained on the pack ahead as they're weaving around trying to make sure they give no slipstream to the car behind. But we are gaining, and we're going to look to hopefully get involved in this little battle soon, which does involve both Labroca Sim Racing and LDFR. So let's hope, you know, it could get us into their YouTube videos. could very well do that, so let's try and make the most of it when it does happen. But here we are, we've got to set our sights on first Mulder. We've got to try and gain on him and pull into his slipstreams. That will allow us to get dragged along as Ben seems to get a little bit wide out of that corner, giving Lorenzo a great run on him. But now, Mulder has blocked our vision, we can't see what's going on anymore. All we know is that they're very, very tight, and possibly an overtaking chance here is there. Lorenzo goes to the outside. They're too wide into the hairpin. But I don't think it's going to come off, and I think Ben will hold on to that position. Yes, he does. But all of this fighting has allowed us to get closer and closer. We're now within 1 second of Mulder ahead. And we're only going to continue gaining. But lucky for us, we have a massive gap behind, so we don't have to worry about that. As Mulder goes for a move on Lorenzo, he sends it down the inside. Lorenzo gets pushed slightly wide, but we managed to hopefully get a move sooner rather than later. As now we are definitely right up behind him, 0.3 seconds behind now. And this is definitely within slipstream range, which we will now get on the main straight. We aim for a good exit here, and we have got one. We have got the run on Lorenzo. We're reeling him in, hopefully maybe going for a move here. But no Lorenzo defense, so we'll have to stick to the outside. And I'm going to brake it early. I don't want to get involved in anything like that at the moment. He goes a little bit wide, and we have a look down the inside, but there's nothing there. As now we stick here, Lorenzo comes back across to the racing line, and we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that move. But here we are, he's doing some great defense against us at the moment, but hopefully we can break down that defense and get on through so we can focus on Mulder and Harrison ahead. Now onto the back straight. We're still on a tight pack of 4, so everyone is getting a bit of slipstream here. No one is losing out on that extra speed down the straight, which I suppose makes for a good fight. But also here, Lorenzo, you can see, is pulling away because he is a bit closer to Mulder than we are to him. But now into the hairpin, we're still pretty evenly spread, but Mulder gets a bit wide, and Lorenzo looks for a move, very, very close, but he doesn't go for it. He holds off. A very wise and patient move there. But now we get a pretty decent run. Mulder's defending from Lorenzo. Is Lorenzo going to look for a move? No, he's not, because Mulder does some great defensive moves there. But now we're slightly getting frustrated and held up now as the cars behind are reeling us in. Slowly and slowly reeling us in. So we have to try get some moves done here soon, so that we don't end up having another bigger scrap with the cars behind. As Mulder seems to get a little bit wide, having to break through the middle of the corner, which has given Lorenzo a massive run on him. And we're going to pick up Lorenzo's slipstream and maybe pick up the scraps here. As Lorenzo goes for it down the inside. Mulder gets a little bit wide as he tries to hold on to it. Now we're down the inside. Is this going to be an overtake by us? But then Mulder comes across and we've been hit. We've been hit into the gravel. We've managed to struggle against the car and hold it on the track, but we're going to lose one position, and I am going to let off for the second car here. We don't want any more accidents, and I think it is only fair as we are rejoining the track. We got to rejoin safely. But that there is a very annoying instance. I'm not sure quite what happened, but I did hear Mulder say sorry. I think something like he didn't. His engineer may have said like they was clear or something. But here is the replay of what happened then from our gyro. We are just minding our own business and he does come across us. And to confirm it is, he said his engineer said it was clear on the right, which it obviously wasn't, but no fault of his then, I would say. And at least he apologized. At least he apologized and he didn't just, you know, shrug it off like it wasn't his fault. But here we are on lap 9 then. We are still chasing Liam and Bobby. They're having an almighty scrap up ahead though. But then we come into this corner and there's an incident up ahead. And what is that? That is Lorenzo off in the gravel. And it looks like Ben is slow, which means they must have had a collision. That is the only possible thing that it means, and Ben and Lorenzo are both in the voice chat. So I assume that is the case, as Ben is super slow and gets overtaken by both Liam and Bobby. But that is something I would definitely want to see then, that replay, which we will get to see in a bit. But for now, we just got to set our sights on the cars ahead and try and reel them in a bit more, as Ben is fighting them, getting held up a bit. He does have more pace. But now come through the next corner. It looks like Bobby gets a bit wide. Liam's going to have a good run on him. Ben even is in a bit of no man's land between those two up ahead and myself, as Bobby gets it all wrong and he gets it a bit wide, having a little bit of a snap of oversteer. And then Liam goes around the outside, an absolutely classy move there. But now Ben has been held up and we're onto his rear end here as we come through the second last corner. And now the final corner. Can we get a good run through the exit? It's a bit of a mediocre one, to be fair. But now that we're on the straight, we'll take a moment and have a look at that replay. And there's a bit of contact there, and it looks like Lorenzo went deep, and then maybe Lorenzo didn't give Ben any room there. But that is definitely going to be an interesting one to see in their videos maybe. But now we head to lap 10. And Ben Harrison, is going for a move on Bobby, who gets slightly pushed out, almost a bit of contact, but Bobby's going to hold the inside line. They're still side by side, still going at it, but inevitably Ben does get the move done, or does he? No, he goes even wider, and we've got an incredible run. We're going to go for the double overtake down the inside, 3 wide into the hairpin. We brake late, Bobby backs out, but Ben is still on the outside. He's still fighting us for this position. We get half a car length ahead, but in the end he's going to get us back, as we have to give him room on the inside. And he will slip on through again. But what an opportunity that was for us. A double overtake, and not just on any 2 cars, but on one of them being Ben Harrison, a sim racer YouTuber himself. So let's take a look at a replay of that possible overtake then. As you can see, we get an incredible run as they're both side by side, having to give off a little bit of throttle. And then we go down the inside. Bobby backs out, but Ben, he does not. He is throwing tooth and nail at this, as we're on the outside for the next corner, where we have to give him room. I could have maybe squeezed him a little bit more, but it's all good, as we are still on the back of Ben here. And it is still lap 10. Now lap 11, I believe. To come into the first corner, Ben maybe getting a bit wide, or is it just us having a bad line through there? I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. But now through turn 2, we are still on him. He gets it all wide, very, very wide, and we're going to go down the inside, looking for a move. We are side by side with him through this little sweeping S-bends, but he's got the inside line. I think he's going to go for it, and we brake early, maybe for the switchback, and we get the switchback. But now Bobby is down the inside of us, and we come across a bit of contact with Ben there, unintentional. But we're on the straight, we're 3 wide, we're fighting for it. But Bobby comes across the front of us, and we have to slam on the brakes. And there, Bobby and Ben both into the wall on the straight. That is very, very unfortunate. And I don't think that's to any fault of our own. I personally believe that was Bobby who did come across us. But maybe I'm wrong. But here we are, Lorenzo is on the back of us. We've got maybe 2 laps, maybe 1.5 laps to go, to have to now defend against both Lorenzo and the car behind him. But here is the replay of what happened then. As we come through the, turn 2, we have a great run on Ben, who did get it a bit wide, and we're going to go side by side with him through these little sweeping S-bends. We're even going to get ahead of him momentarily, but he sends it back down the inside. But we brake early, looking for the switchback, and we get it. We do get the switchback, but then here, I maybe squeeze him a little bit, and there's a bit of contact. But then down the straight here, you'll see Bobby, Bobby comes across us and ends up swiping Ben into the wall. All unintentional, as that is so close between us there on the switchback. But there, a bit of contact there, but you'll see from this view here, we keep it straight, Ben keeps it straight, but Bobby comes across. Lucky for us, we managed to slam on the brakes and avoid being swept into the wall like the others were. But in the end, we have lost a ton of time, as now we continue on with lap 11. Lorenzo is still right on our tail. We're attempting to defend, or hopefully it doesn't come to the case of defending. Hopefully we can pull away from him, but I doubt that very, very much, as he is an incredibly quick driver. and done a load more practice than us. As you can see, he gets really close to our rear there through that final corner. And there is a confirmation, the white flag. We are onto the final lap of the race. Are we going to be able to hold Lorenzo off and get an incredible P11 to P4 in this first community race of ours? Lorenzo has an incredible run through that first corner. We're going to defend to the inside. Bit of contact there, unintentional, I didn't mean to. I think maybe even a bit of netcode there. But you can see he's all over the back of us, completely smothering us. He has to let off a bit there as there's a bit of contact which sways our rear end slightly. But we're okay for now as we brake and then cut straight to the apex. Maybe not the greatest line, but it is for us to defend against Lorenzo, who is also getting put under pressure from the car behind. But Lorenzo is in our slipstream and he's going to have a great run down the back straight here. The very, very long back straight. We're going to just hold the inside as we are very, very close, but we're going to try to defend the inside line. We brake very late and we almost go wide, but we basically stop on the apex. Lorenzo gets a possible good switchback, but no, we are just too far ahead and he has to back out. But there in the rearview mirror, it seems that Lorenzo, sorry, it seems that he gets a bit wide, maybe pushed out by the other car behind us now. But that there has pushed them both behind a decent margin, and I think we're going to be able to hold on to this. This would be an incredible P4 finish for us from P11 and an incredible run as we go onto this tiny little straight and around the second last corner. And we're keeping it nice and clean. The final corner is quite lethal, but we just go nice and cruisy. No threat from the cars behind. And there it is. P4. What a race. What a run from us. And you can see we sweep to the pit wall. Absolutely pumped with our finish. And man, like I just said, I'm pumped. I can't believe it. From 11th to 4th in our first ever community race with all the other YouTubers, with some other incredible drivers. What a race.